What is up, and good morning everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are at my buddy Logan's house where the 34 Scarab is at. He was kind enough to leave it here, or let me leave it here while we work on it. We're gonna be doing some fun stuff today. I know I need to show you guys the interior still. I don't even think I've got there yet, so we're gonna get I got a tarp over it trying to keep some of the water out. We're gonna pull the tarp off. I'll show you guys the inside. We still need to clean it. We haven't done it yet. Not top priority right now. I did bug bomb it because there was some wasp and stuff in there, so hopefully all the bugs are dead and everything's good. I did spray and treat the whole boat for bugs, make sure nothing is getting in there while it's sitting. You know, we do have some termites down here in Florida, but we're gonna go show you the inside, and then I think we're gonna work in the engine bay. Sorry, a little loud here. We're gonna work in the engine bay, getting these transom assemblies off, check the transoms, check the transom, make sure everything's solid, probably pull these exhausts off and start cleaning up the engine bay. That way we can start working on it. We do just have it blocked up right now. I got some RV slide out jacks under the side, make sure this thing was solid. They had it sitting on just that, and that block when we picked it up. So we added some more in the middle, kind of support everything, and some of these jacks on the side. That way it doesn't move. So this is the project boat. Now, I do want to say I appreciate you guys and welcome to all the new subscribers on the channel. YouTube has just introduced a new hype button feature on the video, which has helped us out tremendously. It's usually down right in the comment section. It's not available for everyone. It's free. You just swipe over, you get a couple hypes a week to hype up videos in the first 7 days that they're posted. You know, it's helping us grow a little bit, and it really showed that it's working. So I'm glad they're doing something for us smaller YouTubers. Been at this for quite some time and didn't really get a ton of publicity from it, but I'm hoping that this is some cool stuff that you guys want to see. If you enjoy the video, it actually helps more to go hype the video up than drop a like. So I would appreciate that, guys. If not, you know, like I said, enjoy the video. We're gonna get up inside there, get everything uncovered, and start going through this thing. So if you guys go back and watch the original video of cleaning this is our 1987 34-foot Scarab 3 that we rescued from a field. Now the cockpit area and everything looks pretty rough. On our agenda today also is, if this tank is empty, try and cut this thing out and see if we can get this out. We'll open the engine hatch in a minute, but right now I want to take you guys inside the cabin. That needs a little bit of love still. Obviously it's very outdated. It might be a little dark in here, but it's really not in too terrible of shape. Now this panel did fall down, so we're gonna rebuild something for up here. It's just like an acrylic panel that is bolted up against there, kind of like this side. There's some trim, but we're gonna end up probably redoing this. The seats are gonna get reupholstered, and as you can see, there's some dirt daubers in here. Now, full couch, bed. There is a pretty good sized head in here. And one of the coolest things that we found, it's actually right here. This is a Mercruiser Satisfied Owner Systems Pre-Delivery Inspection. And now this was twin 454 mag, I believe TRS drives, and it is signed and dated, if you can see this, I don't know if it'll focus, 1987. So this is some of the original paperwork from 1987, and it was all found in here. So if you guys want, let me know, and we'll take a video of going through all the old paperwork in here and seeing what happened. But some of the cool things in here, not that I would ever use this, but it's got like a wine chiller. Like I said, full head, there's storage. There's 2 hatches front. There's some storage up there in the front. Now, this shows how old it is. Now it's got blinds in here, which is kind of horrible because you can't even really see out the portholes with the blinds. So I think we're gonna end up changing this a little bit too, because I really like these. I'm probably gonna remake them and make this visible. It's even got classic ashtrays for back in the olden days. Now this is the sun pad, I believe, that was just thrown in here. But there is all sorts of stuff in here. Obviously this is gonna get redone, reupholstered. It's got the ceiling mirror straight out of the 80s. It's pretty cool that this thing is like almost original interior, and it's in pretty decent shape. Obviously some stuff got banged around and broke, and it's just brittle plastic, but this kind of would be up like that. So these lights, all this stuff, there's some speakers in here, all that's gonna go. There is a refrigerator, a little storage area, which that stuff's probably all gonna be cleaned out. There's a small sink, counter space, all the circuit breaker panels, all this stuff. So this is also on part of our list of redoing it, but got the original Scarab 3 etched glass here, but I don't know. Everyone was asking why I would take apart a newer, a little bit smaller boat that was probably in better shape than this, but something about being in here just, it just makes me happy, you know. It's just, it's so cool. I don't know, I just like 80s stuff, I guess. But that's enough of that. It stays pretty dry in here. We actually don't have a ton of like wet spots that look like the hatches were leaking or anything. Like the carpet's not super gross for the condition it's in, and the bed doesn't seem to have a ton of water spots on it. It was just raining this morning, so we definitely see a wet spot if something was wet in here. So we're hoping everything is good. I think what's going to end up happening is this carpet's going to come out. Obviously there is some stains and stuff. Who knows if this thing was underwater, you know, sitting where it was for a while or not. We did our best to try and clean everything out and make sure the water stayed out of it. But I think what's going to end up happening is the carpet's going to come out. We're going to gel coat, like sand everything, gel coat everything, and then put like C-deck flooring in here, or whatever brand it is, for the inner, so it looks a lot cleaner and brighter in here. And then we're going to end up cleaning all this stuff up and redoing it. So we definitely have our work cut out for us on this restoration, but by getting that formula and tearing it down, it super progressed this process as far as the drive line goes. So we have a ton of work to do in here and here as far as cleaning up. The engine bay, not super bad, just super dirty. But like I said, we're gonna start cutting everything out of there today and getting it all cleaned up, so that way we can put, well, we're not going to put the transom assemblies on for the Bravo 1s, but that way we can check the transom, check everything, make sure it's all in good shape, and then continue on with this project. So I'm hoping everything is dry and good and safe. That's why we've been trying to keep the water out. So let's get in there so I stop rambling and see what's going on. So it looks like we got a little bit of water sitting in here. So I'm gonna try. I guess I had my bilge pump hose plug in the hole. So at least now it's draining. We're gonna get some of this water out of here. I didn't think about that when I had it sitting in there. But everything looks pretty good. What we're actually gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna get all the steering and stuff off of here today. I'll take the steering off. There's a couple lines to these trim pumps right here that we'll take off. We'll pull the steering. This is the tab pump. All this stuff's pretty much gonna get tore out of here today. That's my goal. See how far we can get these exhausts out of here and everything, and get these pumps off so we can look at this. Now the stringers, everything looks pretty solid. Now that one did pull out just a little bit, so I'm a little worried about over there, but I think it's just because they didn't put any supporting on the back side. They did notch the stringer for the motors when they moved them back and got rid of the TRS drives. So originally these motors would have had transmissions in right behind the engines and the transom assemblies, and the engines would have sat pretty far forward, you know, kind of like up here. When you go, these were actually Alpha 1 transom assemblies, which I have no idea why they would ever have put Alphas on here. So we're gonna get rid of these and go to Bravos, which luckily the holes are pretty much the same. There's just 2 more holes you have to drill right here to make them work, but the cutout's the same. So we're gonna check the like X dimension and everything with the blueprints and make sure they're right where we want them, because we can always do -2 lowers. But when they moved it back, they notched the transom stringers a little bit, which we're getting a little bit of cracking here. I don't know what they put on it, if it's just the sealant or whatever. But we're probably gonna end up re-glassing that, making that look better, glass all this stuff. Any exposed stuff, really, we're gonna glass and redo, and then we're gonna clean and paint in here. So basically, The nice thing is too, this is pretty solid, but the wall here where you saw in the cockpit helm area, this is not structural, so we're actually going to take this all out. Probably end up building a panel that does bolt in and bolt out, but it's going to be, I'm going to glass it all in. I'm going to make a separate panel that bolts in, but it's all glass, so it's not exposed wood like this. So we're going to end up redoing a bunch of stuff, but for right now I'm going to try and just get this stuff taken apart in here. That way we can get this stuff out of here, check everything over, and see how it is. All right, so 2 bolts here, 2 there, 2 down here, 2 at the bottom. They broke. I'm hoping the transom's okay and not too much water got in there. This plate should come off. So we're gonna go ahead and get this out. Now this pin was seized in there on this tie bar, so I'm hoping if I leave it straight, I can just slide this off. You have to have the shift cable out, which was already done, and then undo the trim line. So I'm gonna pull this inner assembly off, and then we should be able to go outside and pry these transom assemblies right out of here and then look at everything and see how it is out there. Hopefully this transom is not bad. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, a little dirty and dingy, but it's pretty thick. I mean, it's a serious layup. So let's get this off, get outside, pry them off, and see what happens. It just rained on me for about half hour, and the sun's coming out a little bit, so it's getting a little muggy out here, but you know, we'll be okay. Oh, I got one more screw to take off right there on this little ground strap. Then we'll slide this thing off and get it out of here. And just like that, we have some transom assemblies off. Now this is dirt down here. It doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna try and clean all this out with a little wire brush. See if we can get down to the transom. Now this side, I'm a little more worried about because there's a little bit of cracking in here. But I'm hoping this is okay. When it's squeezed together and sealed up, it's good. It doesn't look like they sealed it very good. So I'm gonna, this looks a little rough right here. We might need to do a little bit of glass work and some woodwork in here. But all in all, I think the transom so far is looking okay. So that wasn't too bad. I'm gonna clean these up a little bit and take a look at them and see if we can see anything crazy going on. And hopefully it's starting to get sunny out. Hopefully miss some of the rain here and not have to work outside too much. All right, so we're not gonna end up getting the fuel tank out today. We ran into a little bit of problems. It's half full, so I need to figure out what I'm gonna do about that. So we're probably gonna have to get the tank drained first and pumped out. I'll probably have to bring a drum over here, but for the meantime, since we're still in here, we're gonna continue working on this. I'm gonna disconnect the batteries. I already got that one disconnected, and this whole wall is gonna come out, so I'm gonna start pulling stuff off of here. I'm gonna end up closing these lines off right here for the fuel, make sure nothing else comes out, and we'll start pulling this stuff off. Probably start pulling C-strainers, through holes, kind of all this stuff. I really want to get this cleaned up in here. We did end up finding a little bit of rot in the transom right here, but it's not a huge deal. We'll see what we have to do. We might end up having to cut some of this out and redo it, but that's better than the rest of the boat being rotted. So we're going to continue on taking stuff apart up here, start cleaning up all the stuff in the front side, but the first things first, get the batteries disconnected, because surprisingly they do still have juice in them. This battery is from 2023, so that was when the boat was running last, so they're not super old. But basically, because we're redoing everything and starting fresh, the vast majority of these wires are pretty much gonna get cut and thrown away. I'll probably keep, you know, the big ones intact, but I don't know if this is how I'm even gonna run the setup, so it's basically gonna be all fresh. They already cut most of the wires for the starters and everything anyways, so really no point in saving anything. We got a wheelbarrow outside. We're gonna start just chunking most of this stuff, getting rid of these brackets and stuff, and we'll make our own out of everything. These Holly fuel pumps, I mean, since it's the boat, like, these might work, but I don't want to waste, you know, I don't want to take a gamble on them running, so they're gonna go away too. There's no sense in keeping any of this stuff. It's basically all just needs to go. So that's what we're gonna work on now. Start getting this tore out, maybe get this wall out, and then maybe start taking some of the cabin stuff apart. Alrighty, we have got this thing pretty stripped. I figured I killed you guys with time lapse already. Transom assemblies are off, pumps are off, wiring's pretty much out of the engine bay. Needs a good cleaning. We took this wall out. It's not a structural wall, it's like a sub wall that they put in there. We took that rotted piece out. We're gonna do something cool back here, we're just not sure yet. I pulled the carpet off of the sides here, and I pulled out all that kind of rotted trim stuff they had under here. These pieces of wood need to go. I think when we redo this, and when we do pieces of wood, even if they're not structural or permanent pieces of wood, we're still gonna fiberglass, or we're gonna fiberglass them and gel coat them. That way they're sealed, and then install them with some sealant and some screws and stuff. That way this doesn't happen again. I'm trying to make this thing last and bring it back. Obviously haven't gone much past here, still working on getting all the wiring out, but we're pretty much running out of daylight now. Took a little bit of a break. I don't know what else I took out. Pretty much there's just a bunch of wire rigging and blowers and stuff that all needs to come out, get the through holes out, start cleaning all this stuff so water's not sitting in here, and get all the leaves. I'm gonna have to come back with a shop vac and kind of clean all this up and get everything out. The transom does have a little bit of rot. We're gonna take a look at that and assess that later. I'm gonna have my buddy come over that does fiberglass and take a look at that once we get everything kind of stripped and cleaned. We're gonna be working up here for a while. I do need to cut out the floor here, just where the seat was. The floor is actually pretty solid, except for right here where the holes were for the seat. They were never sealed, or they broke. So we have a soft spot in the floor right here. So we'll cut out this section, find the rot, get it all taken out of, re-glass this in, make this all good, you know, continue to take out this wire, mess. We're gonna take out all the gauges and all this stuff and redo all of this stuff. Probably gonna take the tilt helm off that formula and put it on here, but there's a bunch of stuff that still needs to happen or be taken out. But really we're just trying to get the big stuff that's rotted stripped out of here, cleaned out and cleaned up, so we can start coming up with a game plan on what we're gonna do. So there's still a lot of work. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. So as I was saying, there's still a lot of planning, a lot of things that we need to figure out and what we're gonna do, and probably get some help on fixing. But once we get the wires and the bulk of this mess out, we'll pull all the wires out of the panels up there in the circuit breaker panels up there on the side, get all this stuff cut out, and we will start to rebuild and remake all of this stuff. We're gonna go through this whole deal and see what's rotted. I already stood up here. It feels pretty solid, so I'm feeling pretty good about all that stuff. We'll probably end up remaking these panels, make them a little tighter, make sure everything's good. We had to remake this one because obviously it was broken at some point, so we definitely have our work cut out for us. But that is going to do it for today's video. Like I said, on the fuel tank, we need to get it drained and get it out of here, and start chopping all that away and make sure everything is solid underneath there. But yeah, we've been putting in some work today. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep this momentum rolling and try and get this thing cleaned up so we can start fixing it. We need to fix these sides a little bit too. This one's not so bad, but this one's pretty rotted. So luckily no structure. We're just going to cut this out and remake this. This wing is actually aluminum, which I didn't know, which is pretty cool. So this is not rotted, it's solid. Doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. The gunnels feel pretty strong. So I think we're pretty good on this front to make sure everything is good up in here. But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next one, continuing on with the Scarab project, because now we have all the stuff out of the formula to continue working on this thing. That's it, guys. I'm out of here. We'll see you later.